Hello everyone, how you doing today? I'm back with another video, and in today's video we have a Nintendo Switch Lite over here, and the client brought this one in because the right joystick is not working well. So as soon as he is moving around, it goes up and down, but left and right doesn't work, or sometimes it works. I'm gonna cover you in this video how you can open it up and how you can replace it easily. I'm gonna go over the joysticks that I'll leave the link for materials that I use. You can buy you a set of the joystick, a whole bunch of them or few, that depends. And let's go ahead and open this. You can do this at home with few tools needed only. To cover the tools, tool number one is a screwdriver set. I recommend you to grab a good screwdriver set, like an UFIXTEK screwdriver set. These are one of the best screws out there. If you get the Pro set, they will include you with an opening tools and a few other stuff. If not, just get the basic set. For the opening tool, I'll be using a guitar pick. And metallic guitar picks are really suitable to opening cases and cover. And after that, you need a plastic spatula, pointy one, tweezers, a sharp tweezer, and obviously you need the spare part joystick. In this case, I'll be using one right here. Now, let's go ahead and open it up. First, you want to power it off completely, and we're going to start removing the screws. The screws on here, these are not like a Phillips screws. These are like a star shape screws Y00. And we're going to remove the 4 screws at the back cover. Always make sure you open up to make sure there's no SD card or anything in there. In this case, there is one SD card, so remove every card that you have in there. So powered on. So let's see if I can turn it on. Now we're gonna remove the screws over here, 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. These are Phillips 00. So grab a Phillips 00 and remove the 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top. There we go. And the 2 on the top. Make sure the game card also is removed. There is no game card. This one doesn't have any. Alright, once we remove this one, we're going to grab the opening tool and we are going to remove the bottom casing. Just push it in there and it should easily, almost no force, it should separate itself. To the bottom, to the top. Now you want to grab it from the bottom side where the jack is. You want to bring it up a little bit. And you want to not force too much. Push it towards the triggers on the top and it will release itself. This one, it is kind of dirty, so you can go take a few minutes and clean it up. Alright, the joystick that we're going to be removing is on this side. So if your joystick is the right joystick, if you're looking at it like this, if your joystick on the right one is, you want to replace it, you are going to need to remove the shielding plate, everything in here. But if you're removing this joystick on the other side, you don't need to remove anything. You just remove few screws and that's it. So let's go ahead, remove this whole board right here. So we're going to remove this back plate. So there's one screw right over here. And let me see, one screw right over on top, one screw in the middle. So go ahead and remove whatever you can see from the top side first. Okay. There's one right over here. This one is a long one. And there is not anymore. Just lift up the cover and put it to one side. And there we have it. Now this joystick is right under because I can see the connector comes here, so we need to remove the whole motherboard in order to get to the joystick. So before we do anything, we're gonna remove this flex cable here so we can detach the battery. Open up the lock, just twist it, and pull out the flex cable. Now you wanna move this cable upward just like that, and you can disconnect the battery. Okay. Now we are gonna disconnect the Wi-Fi cables, antennas. Just lift them up, just like that. And let's go ahead and remove the fan cables right here, the fan screws, the two fan screws. Remove them. If the screw doesn't come out, it's okay, just leave it there. We can just use a tweezer to pull it out. Okay, we need to start from the corner, remove two screws on the power jack on the bottom. We are gonna remove the speaker right in here, the screws. Only two of them. Actually, that's a speaker housing. I don't need to remove it. On this one, you can leave one on top. So only remove the one in the middle that touches there, not the one in here. Okay. The speaker goes right over here. So it comes up with a motherboard. Let's remove the screws on over. Remove the heatsink. Okay. Put the screws to one side. Grab the heatsink and detach it. Another foamy tape right on top. You can clean it up. Look at the dust build on this one. So with a toothbrush, you can clean it up. We need to remove the screw for fan one right underneath here. And go ahead once for all, disconnect the fan cable, lift up the jack 90 degree, and pull up the flex cable back. Okay, now we can remove it. Put it to one side, put the screws for the fan right beside it. Now we are gonna remove the audio jack. So 4 screws for the audio jack, just leave it like that. You don't need to remove the cables or anything yet. Remove the 3 screws for the game card reader. Once you remove this one, now we're gonna unlock the lock for this one and just slide it out. Put it right beside it. We are just gonna disconnect this cable. There we go. And we are gonna slide this flex cable out backward. Okay. Also remove the flex cable on this side. I believe this is the LCD. Okay. Now we need to remove two screws right over here by the trigger. Okay, remove the trigger, put it on one side. Now we should be able to lift up. There's one more screw on the board right here. Okay. Just double check, make sure there's no more screws. And let's go once for all, remove the flex cable for the joystick that we're going to be removing. So slide it back. And go ahead and lift up the motherboard. Let me see if there's any more screws right there. No. Nothing right there. And nothing right there. Oh, there is one right in the corner, sneaky one right here. Remove this sneaky screw too. Now, go ahead and lift it up. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the cable for the breaker, so I don't want to accidentally pull it out or break it. Just pull it out slowly. There is no screw or anything underneath that. So I am gonna lift it up. I can see it right there. These screws are really sneaky. Right beside here, there's one more screw right there. Remove that screw too. So there is a total of 3 screws. One there, and one right in the middle. Once we remove those ones, bring the board up and release it. So there's your motherboard. And there's your speaker. And there's your joystick right here. So this joystick, it does look a little blown. So in order to remove it, remove 2 screws. And you can just pull it out. Put it to one side, grab the new one. New one looks exactly the same height. And there we have it. Okay. You want to put it right in here. Push it down. Okay. Now we are gonna grab the motherboard. We are gonna put it, before we put it down, we don't need to put the speaker underneath. So I'm gonna sandwich it like this. Bring it down. With a spatula, we're gonna bring this cable upward. And also, oh, I forgot, I'm sorry, but you gotta put the screws for the joystick. Put the screws for the joystick. Start. So once we put the joystick, we're gonna put the screws for the joystick. Okay, and this trigger goes right over here. With a spring that goes right in there. There you go. You're gonna put the motherboard with a speaker on it. So put the speaker right over and bring it down. Put the corner side by the power jack. And now we need to pull out the cables underneath so they stay on top. Okay. We also need to pull out the flex cable for the joystick. Leave it like that. And there we have it. First, we're gonna put the screw for the trigger right in the corner. Put the 2 screws for the trigger. Okay. Let's go ahead and put the screws for the motherboard. Remember, one in the middle. Let's put the one in the corner first. Okay. One in the corner. One right by the jack. Okay. And the other one, it was right over here. Right there. You can always double check, go back on the video and make sure it's in the right place. So that one, it wasn't there. So that goes from the top side. So let me see. This is for the other one. So let's put this one to one side for now. Let's go ahead and put the flex cable for this right over here. So place the flex cable right, slide it right under the jack. Lock it down. The flex cable for the LCD. Lock it down. Put the speaker cable right there inside the jack. Put the Wi-Fi antennas right, just push them down, straight right over. The other one. There we go. The fan, I'm gonna clean it up with a toothbrush. Just grab a toothbrush outside and blow some air. Okay. We can repaste and clean it up if you want to. I'm gonna do it, but you don't have to because there's a thermopaste tool. But I highly recommend it to do it. Just grab an Arctic MX4 and alcohol, isopropylic alcohol, and stick it right over the worktop towel. And clean up the thermopaste. And clean up the thermopaste over here too. And you can apply the thermopaste right over here. One tiny line. Okay, let's put the fan. Put the fan right over, sit it down. Put the tiny screw it down. Put the other 2 screws for the fan. Okay, this cable has to go over here. Okay. Now, once we have that one in there, we're gonna grab the heatsink. Before we put the heatsink, let's go ahead and put this audio jack connector right there. And I'm just gonna slide it right under the connector first. And once it's in place, I'm gonna lock it down. And let's go ahead and put the screws for this one. 4 on the audio jack and 3 on the other board. Okay, we need to put one screw right by the speaker right there. Put that screw right there. Put the 2 screws on the port. And don't forget to put the flex cable for the joystick. That's the whole purpose of this video. So make sure the lock is open. And put it all the way in and lock it down. Okay. Now we're gonna grab the heatsink. Put the heatsink right over. And there's a one tiny screw that we need to put also. Let's put the 3 screw for the heatsink first. Now that the heatsink is in place, I forgot to put the fan connector. You could do this before, but you can still do it with a tooth. Put this connector right in there. And lock it down. Okay. Now we got those ones in there. There's a one tiny screw that goes right there. There's all thermal paste to remove them. So put this one in right over here. There we go. Now we are pretty much done down here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna plug in the battery. Connect the battery right there. And bring the flex cable for the right side here. Just slide it right underneath and lock it down. You can power, let's put the micro USB in. You can power it on just like this and test it out and see how it works. So let's go ahead and power it on. So the power button is all the way to this side. So there we go, we got power. And once we are in the screen, we can just test the joystick on this side to see if it's going, at least it's moving around. Yeah, I hear. So it is moving up and down. It's working perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and power it off by holding the switch. And power off, turn off, and there we go. So it is working. Now on this side, you can't put thermal paste. You have to use a thermal putty. You can grab a thermal putty or use the same thermal putty that is on top. It's not that necessary, but you can just change it. The thermal putty touches right over here. You can also grab it from here because this thermal putty is still good. Put it right over, right here, and it's going to smush down fine. Okay. Now that we got this one in here, now we're going to bring it down. We are going to place it right over. And make sure the screw hole matches. We're going to put the 3 screw on the top, and the longest screw goes right over here. Okay, put the 3 screws. And the last thing is to put the bottom cover right over and put the rest of the screws. Again, I really hope this video helped you guys out. If it did, click that like and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any question or request, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm just gonna grab the bottom cover, bring it up, just scoop it from the top side, scoop it down. Oh, make sure you remove the SD card reader, push in, and it comes out. Just scoop it right through here, right there. Bring it down. Make sure you hear those click sounds. If you don't hear it, but if there's any gap, open it and make sure there's no dust or dirt, anything in there. There we go. And squeeze the corners, bring it back all the way to the bottom. And that's it. Now you can squeeze down the SD card right in there. There we go. Okay, put the Y screws around and then the 00 Phillips, 2 top and 2 on the bottom. And that's for today's video.